AFTV 4-0 to the Arsenal. What a performance tonight. Or, where have they gone? I just can't believe them two. But listen, that was outstanding today, wasn't it?
Like, so at times I'm embarrassed by our fan base. How could you come here tonight on a night like tonight where we've beaten one of the best sides in Europe 4-0? They barely laid a glove on us. They hit the bar, and yes, they could have hit the bar, and they could have scored, and they could have done. They didn't. They didn't. How many times have we gone to clubs? How many times have we under Wenger go away to United, go away to all these sides, play them off the park, lose the game, and everyone says, "Oh, Arsenal got to change the way." And now we have changed the way.
The thing is, they didn't have us under siege.
No,
they hit the post once, right? We absolutely dominated the game. It was a great performance tonight.
There was absolutely no point where you sat here and thought, we're under the cosh here and we need to sit in and we need to... They were the ones under the cosh. They were the ones digging in. They were the ones trying to slow the game down, take the tempo out of the game. We were playing within ourselves at times, and then 15 minutes or so, the game turns around really quickly. And when you're a quality side like we are, that's what it is. And the challenge with football fans now, particularly in like the YouTube era, and we've got a tax man on everybody, is that everyone's so concerned with going, "I told you so. I told you so. Do you remember that game when I told you so?" So you take Ryan for example. I love Ryan. He's my guy. We go to games all the time. But this idea around sustainability is a bit daft, because nobody is like the Marino side that conceded 13, 15 goals. It wasn't sustainable over the they lost games. The Pep Guardiola sides that have dominated the football, the Jurgen Klopp that dominated football, the Wenger side only once in that whole period, even with the Ferguson side, has a team gone all season and not lost the game. So the idea that I take Ryan as an example, he's waiting for us to lose the game to be able to go, "Do you remember that time after that game when?"
The thing is, this sustainability thing is like, when people say set pieces are not sustainable.
We've been doing it for 2 seasons.
We've scored 2 goals tonight from open play. I mean, and if you've got a weapon of set pieces and it is so effective, you've got to use it. You know what I mean? If you've got Erling Haaland in your team, you've got to use him. If you've got Mbappe in your team, you've got to use him. You don't just say, all right, it's not sustainable, right? You use it and you use it and you use it. Simple as that, you know what I mean? Because they're weapons. They're weapons. You got a gun, you use it.
The thing is, that's exactly it.
Don't use it. We're not telling people to use it.
No, that's it. And I think the other thing is that what it does is it changes the way that other sides approach a situation. So you get sides in their own defensive third, and they're thinking, I have to put it out for a throw kick, for a throw in. Has to go in for. I don't want to let them take it. I don't want to. So and then they start panicking. Then you get and then our fans start joining, and they lose concentration.
Yeah.
So it becomes a weapon where people they then become super nervous.
Yeah.
And that thing, it's a tool that we have, but it's not the only tool. And everyone's going on like it's the only tool that we have. You've got players like Lewis Kelly who can pick the ball up, run past the whole side, slide a player in. Gabriel Martinelli opens his body up. Thierry Henry just slides it into the back of the net.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, how important was it tonight that Victor Gyokeres got them 2 goals? I mean, listen, 2 tap-ins, who cares, right? It's about scoring. But how important was that for him, for his confidence, for him going forward in the Premier League? Because, we can all see the effort's been there, but he's been a bit quiet. Those guys would have surely done him a power of good.
Look, I think so. I think even after the first, you could see that it was a massive weight. Like he didn't even want to. It seemed like he didn't even want to celebrate it. Like he was like, it was almost. It was an element of. There's an element of relief, and then there's an element of I need to kind of also be in the moment. And it's been hard for Gyokeres because with no Havertz, with no Jesus, he's played every game. Like you wouldn't expect him to have gone away to Port Vale away, and had to play, but he did because we've gotten that. So he's playing. He's almost playing every minute. Obviously, Moreno can come in and play the last 20 or so, but you're asking him to play every single game, and the way that Arteta sets his side out, the defensive responsibilities and what he asks of his centre forwards, it's a real ask. And he's acclimatising to a league. We're seeing other players like Isak who are coming in, who have been in the league and are still not acclimatising to where to the size that they're going to, and not not being held to the same, to the same standard. So it was a massive relief for him today. I think he needed it. I think he deserved both his goals. I think it's a reflection on what he's done over the past couple of weeks. Those are the sorts of goals, in some respects, that he was kind of brought in to score. And that's what you're asking. But we've got so many tools. The ball can go out to Saka. He can go left, or he can go right. He can put it in the top corner. You get a corner on the right hand side, and you've got to deal with a Declan Rice delivery. You got a corner on the right, on the other side. You've got to deal with a Saka delivery. The goal that we scored at Fulham. You could have taken Gabriel and Trossard out and swapped it for Adams' bold Keown, and it's exactly the same sort of goal. And if we get to April, May, and we're in, no one's going to care about any of this stuff. None of this matters. A few weeks ago, it was all doom and gloom. A few weeks ago, everyone was, no, season's gone. You're going to play Man City. Handbrake's off. The manager doesn't know what he's doing. You're going to go to Newcastle. They're going to bully you. Everyone was already hypothetically talking about this, this 8-point swing, and 8-point lead that Liverpool are going to have. Where are they in the league now after the results that they've had? There's still a lot of football to be played. All we have to do now is our job. We have to turn up every week and do our job. And I feel like we've got the players and the squad that can turn up every single week and do our job. And the funny thing is, like, you look at training, like, it's little things. Like, when you look at, there's a few training videos that have gone around this week, like some of the competitions that they've been doing, even with the coaches, like Heinze and Arteta having a little bit of banter, a little bit of nous, and you want that little bit of spite and that sense of competition. We've been talking about Calafiori and Lewis Skelly. You've got Timber and White on the other side. Everyone's saying, I want to see Waneri. I want minutes for Waneri. We've still got Madueke to come back in. We've still got Havertz to come back in. Mosquera comes in, doesn't look like he puts a foot out of place. Kepa comes in, in those games, doesn't look like he puts a foot out of place. Mendy's out. We're now not stressing about that. You think about the games where we've played in the past where a player gets 2 yellow cards, you're going, oh my God, who's going to come in? Have we got to change 4 or 5 things to fit this person in? All right, Mendy drops out, you drop Rice in, you drop Norgard in. Doesn't change a huge amount because there's so much quality in what we've built. How can you not be positive? How can the fans come on here every single week? I do, and I had to leave a group chat with those guys. I had to leave it. I woke up one morning and a guy was going, I start work at 8:30, but before I go, I just need to tell you why Arteta's not the man to take this club forward. Brother, I'm gone. I'm done.